We moved to Skokie, Illinois, northwest suburb of Chicago, when I was right in the middle of high school. It was me, my mom, my sister, and our new stepdad, who we were still getting used to. We had mixed feelings about it all. The house was incredible, but leaving behind old friends and all that, but also the stepdad guy, but the big thing was the neighbors, especially for my sister. Not the neighbors on the left side of the house, nor the ones on the right. The ones that really troubled her were in the back. See, even when the blinds were closed, you could still see through the gaps, through the spaces in the bars of the deck, through the old fence that marked the boundary of our property, was a sea of headstones. Now, I was never really one to believe in ghosts, mostly. My sister seemed to lean the other way. We were both dealing with a lot of big feelings as teenagers. I kept mine to myself, tried to hide them as much as I could. She just let them be big. Sometimes it didn't seem like there was room for mine. So I would self-soothe. I would find a refuge. I would go to my room where I could be away from people and just have a little quiet. And anytime something felt a little out of the ordinary, a little scary, a little bad, I would think, there's got to be a logical explanation for this. Those people out on the street weren't talking about you behind your back. They don't even know you. That kind of thing. And if now and then I might hear a voice cackling from my room, "So it can kill you!" Well, that was just the Addams Family pinball machine in the game room, which was also very nice. My sister heard noises too. Her room was on the second floor, and I did remind her that she was directly above the washer and dryer, which I would use late in the middle of the night. I was probably generating a lot of those sounds, getting midnight snacks, doing laundry when the machine might be available. But that wasn't all of the sounds that she heard, she said. What about the strange whispering? Maybe it was the wind, maybe not. And what about those shadows? Well, I told her that had to just be the trees outside. And she reminded me that we don't have very many trees on our property. So the shadow cast on the shades of her window couldn't be explained by that. But no, I wouldn't believe it. I would always find a way to get to sleep sooner or later. If I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard cackling, I knew it was the pinball machine. My stepdad had left it on again. And I would grumble, but I would just get up and go switch it off, just thinking, what kind of horse's ass would leave something like that on to just bother people? But then I would go back to my bed and I would get to sleep, eventually. My sister, though, when we were younger, she used to talk about angels and maybe even intimate that you could talk to them, and even if you knew how to listen in just the right way, they might talk back. But with our quiet neighbors in the back, she became less and less certain that it was the angels after all. One night, she and her friend Jess were in the basement, in the game room, and they heard a voice. It was a man's voice, and the disturbing thing about that was that I wasn't home, my stepdad wasn't home, and Gomez Adams was asleep because the pinball machine was turned off. She was already starting to get pretty freaked out, but Jess was just curious and wouldn't let her run away. Jess leaned into the vents to hear the sound more clearly. It was a man, and he was saying something about his life. Now, several weeks passed, and the only reason I know any of that part is because I happened upon my mom and my sister spilling about the reason that she had been avoiding the basement for all this time. And when she finally let slip the bit about the man and life, I immediately knew the words that she had heard, the words that I had heard so many times before. Life. Don't talk to me about life. It's so depressing. You see, it was the voice of Alan Rickman as Marvin the Robot from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy screensaver that I had left on. Thank you.